Now hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are in Arizona to check out a very interesting airport again. Yes, this is another part of my checking out very interesting airports all around the world series. That was a long sentence. And yeah, today we are in Arizona. To be exact, we are going to check out Sedona Airport today. Or is it Sedona Airport? It doesn't matter. Yeah, Sedona Airport is known as one of the most dangerous general aviation airports in the US, or at least in the western part of the US. And you can kind of already see why that is. Now, as I've already said, this is a general aviation airport, so obviously you will see a lot of general aviation planes fly here, just like the Cessna 172. Let's just see if we can take off this plane. Oh wow, we are at quite a high elevation. We are at 4,800 feet, which is like 1,500 meters, which is actually an elevation where a small Cessna like this can already struggle, but that's another story. Alright, you know what, this worked out just fine. That was alright, even though we did almost use the whole runway for a Cessna 172. That is kind of weird. So yeah, you know what, this takeoff, it worked out really well. Now yes, even though this airport is obviously pretty dangerous, it really isn't the safest airport in the US to fly at. It is still a very popular airport, and that's first of all because of, you know, it's kind of exciting to fly here. It's not like a usual airport, but also you have things like the red rocks of Sedona, which are some kind of famous and all that stuff. You know, the landscape here is very cool. You know, that's just Arizona for you. Now, the Cessna is obviously not the only plane that flies here a lot. There's also a little bit of private jet traffic. Let's go for some kind of PC-12. I missed this plane a little bit. Yeah, the Pilatus PC-12, which is a Swiss plane, by the way, was kind of built for runways like this, really. Shouldn't be an issue. All right, here we go. Yeah, not only a lot of private pilots are attracted to the apparently most scenic airport in America, there's also rich people that like to fly their private jets here, just like the PC-12. Let's see if we can get this plane landed down here. Now this runway, it is very much American, as you can see just by the markings as well. They are very minimal and also very bold, like the center line. That is such an American runway, Jesus Christ. Also, it isn't necessarily wide, it actually is kind of narrow. Let's check out the length of this one though. That's what she said. There we go, we have got 1,500 meters. Flying big airliners will definitely be quite a story later on. But for the PC-12, we will probably not have to worry. Let's just see if we can land this plane somewhat. Actually, this approach is pretty damn badass. I gotta say that. But let's get this plane landed. Alright, I tried making somewhat of a smooth landing, but I messed up on the center line. That was not good. Maybe get some reverse thrusters in here, because we can use them. And there we go. That was quite a nice and quick stop. Alright, I really love the sound of this plane as well. Maybe investigate a little bit more. This is the ramp. Actually, this is quite big for a general aviation airport. Obviously, again, there's a lot of private pilots flying their planes to this airport, so there's got to be a lot of space for all these planes. There's some hangars here in the background, and as you can see, these are some pretty small hangars. Obviously, we only have pretty small planes flying here, and I think this is the spot where you can actually see bigger private jets. Let's try flying some here. Now, for this video, I actually tried figuring out what the biggest plane was to actually fly at this airport, like ever, but I couldn't find any information about that. Let's just see if we can land here in a Challenger 300 by Bombardier, probably one of my favorite private jets. I really like this one. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see the occasional Challenger 300 fly here actually in real life, even though the Bombardier private jets, they are not as popular in the US. I feel like most people are flying Gulfstreams over there, but that's another story. Let's just see if we can land this plane here. Oh, there's something on the taxiway, by the way. What is that? Oh, that's just a sign. Oh, god damn it. So let's maybe do a long landing for the sake of it. Oh, that was a little bit too long. Jesus. All right, spoilers, please. We need to stop, which we actually have. That's pretty nice. There we go. That was actually a very smooth landing, but we touched down on the touchdown zone on the other side of the runway. That was not good. But yeah, even landings like that have to be tolerated for safe operations, I guess. But yeah. Now, something that you really do not want to do at this airport is having an overrun. Most extreme airports like this in the US have, you know, some kind of overrun protection, like the EMA's bed that we have also talked about before, which is basically some kind of structure that the plane crashes into here at the edge of the runway before it can actually fall off, which is actually a pretty good thing. This airport is probably not equipped with that, so you are really gonna want to make sure that, you know, your plane is not like overloaded or anything, because that will not be a good thing. Now, let's maybe go a little bigger. Let's take some small steps though. Let's try an airliner. Now the CRJ-200. Again, I do not know what the biggest plane to ever be at this airport was, but I'm pretty sure no one's gonna fly something like a 737 or even a CRJ here, because that would just be stupid, which is why we're doing this now. Let's go ahead and take off. Full power. This should not be that much of an issue. I hope, I guess. This plane is not fully loaded, so we might actually have a chance. Alrighty, we're actually looking good. 100 knots, 120. We are actually getting very close to the edge of the runway, which is why I like to take off, which we have. That was actually pretty nice. I mean, you know, the CRJ-200, it is one of the smallest jet airliners that there are, but, you know, it worked. That's pretty cool. Maybe move on. ERJ, maybe an Embraer. Yeah, we're trying out some more, well, exotic planes today. Let's go for the 195. Yeah, this one is actually a little bigger now, but probably it is able to fly on a 1500 meter long runway, right? I mean, you know, this plane is actually kind of used to flying at runways that are at least like 2,000 to 3,000 meters long, which is like twice as much, but you know, we'll find out. Now, as cool as this airport is, I'm still wondering why they decided to build this one on a mountain, because like, you know, there's a lot of flat area here, isn't it? I mean, okay, yeah, you have to say this region is not very airport friendly. The area is actually not that flat, but there's some up here. Even though I'm kind of into the decision to build an airport on a mountain, it's pretty special, which is probably why it is actually so popular, right? You know, if it was just a plain boring airport, then it would be nothing special, obviously. So this is actually not that bad of a choice. Let's go ahead and land. Oh wow, that was really not good compared to our other landings today. There we go. Oh, the plane doesn't want to come down. That is not good. All right, there's something wrong with the physics today, but whatever, let's just go ahead and stop. Jesus Christ. I do wonder what went wrong here. I didn't even do anything to enter this dolphin mode, which is actually a common thing student pilots do. Oh no, I get it. I think we landed at quite a high speed, causing us to touch down on the nose landing gear first. That was really not good. Let's just ignore this one. Of course, we're gonna have to try some plane like the 737. This is really the biggest plane that I would ever be comfortable flying here. Like, honestly, it is quite a tough plane, but, you know, any bigger than that, it just gets stupid and dangerous. All right, welcome aboard the 737. Yeah, now we're actually talking airliners now. You know, in America, you do have a lot of 737s flying. Let's see if they can fly to Sedona as well. You know, actually adding that airport as a destination would be pretty cool, actually, right? I can imagine that there's a lot of people that want to fly here, but yeah, this is not a commercial airport. But whatever, let's just see if it's at all possible. All right. Alright, that was decent enough. Let's see if we can stop in time before the runway ends, which will most likely happen. Again, the 737, it is quite a tough plane. And here we go. That was a pretty nice landing, wasn't it? And that worked out perfectly fine too. Alright, that may have been a severe case of bad landing, but that's another story. We have survived this, and we are not hanging off the cliff, which is good. Alrighty, we can move on to a bigger plane, of course. 757. Let's try this one. I actually flew on a 757 recently. I really love its gear design. It kind of looks like you're touching down a little bit smoother than you actually are, which is probably a good thing for me, I guess. Alright, here we go. Now we are definitely entering a size of plane that is definitely not very flyable here at Sedona Airport. I mean, the absolute maximum, again, would be the 737 or something, or perhaps the A320, which is also very popular in the US. And yes, as I've already said, this runway is not necessarily wide, and especially for the big airliners, that's going to be a problem, but let's see about that in a second. We will, especially later on with bigger planes, have some issues with engines hanging over dirt. You really don't want to have that, but, you know, let's just go ahead and land this plane here first. That was actually quite nice. There we go. Reverse thrust, full, and the brakes on maximum, which is actually something that the plane doesn't really like to do because the brakes can overheat very, very quickly, which is not good. But honestly, this worked out kind of well, didn't it? Perfect. That was a totally professional landing. There we go. All right, I'll take it. Pretty good. All right, let's get a little bigger, I guess. A350. You know, we're actually talking long-haul airliners now. And, you know, we have struggled with the A350 before. It does apparently need quite a long runway for its size, so this will be interesting. Let's just see if we can take off the A350 out of here at least. Let's just go ahead. Let's release the brakes and see if the aircraft is able to take off out of here, right? All right, here's the parking brake. There we go. All right, we are having just a normal toga take takeoff without any issues. We are looking good. 120 knots. Please take off eventually. Oh, Jesus. Oh, this is getting close. Very much close. All right. I think this worked out. Oh, we do have a lot of dust here. That was not a very nice one. But we are alive, which is good. Let's check that out. All right, here's the takeoff. So far, we do not have engines hanging over ground, which is good. We literally used the whole runway pretty much to take off, but that went pretty fine, didn't it? And wow, here's the dust. I mean, you know, especially in Russian aviation, there's this slang called, we pay the whole runway, we use the whole runway, which we did in this case. Let's go ahead and move on. 777, which is a little bit bigger, I think. Also a very long range plane. This is even the long range model of the 200. This is going to be an interesting one. All right. By the way, correction, this is not called a mountain, that's a mesa. Yeah, and I can already see the whole comment section hating on me for saying mountain instead of mesa. You know, I don't speak mountain, so this is where we're actually gonna run into some trouble, I guess, but you know, let's just see what's gonna happen. Alright, you know what, this is gonna be a pretty quick landing, let me just say that. Oh, that was a hard one. Or more of a crash. Jesus Christ. Oh, now we need to stop. Yeah, I'm really not good with landing the 777 on very short runways, simply because it really isn't a maneuverable plane, of course. It is obviously very large, and it isn't very responsive. And at small runways like this, quick inputs are needed, which is why something like 737 is a lot more suitable at this place. So let's just see, how did this landing work out? Alright, so we started off just breaking off the landing gear, clean cut, perfect, and a very big crash. Surprisingly enough, though, we stopped. I mean, you know, that was thanks to all of these impacts, because we lost a lot of speed in these, which helped us stop a lot. But actually, this worked out quite well. Turns out maybe you can use Sedona Airport as an international... No, just don't. I mean, there has been some kind of scheduled airliner service to this airport. For example, Scenic Airlines or Air Sedona. That was also a thing in the 90s. That flew small planes here, but no 777s, of course. Yeah. Now, yes, what can we say about Sedona Airport? Obviously, this is quite a nice place. Pretty cool. And actually, I would really want to go here in real life and fly my plane here, but, you know, first of all, I have no plane on my own, but that's another story. But second of all, I don't live in the US, so that won't work out. But maybe sometime in my life I'll be at this airport for sure. But yeah, this is it's pretty cool. Also, this airport is pretty vintage. It was built in the 1950s, so it's got some history to it too. Let's just see if the biggest plane ever can fly here, the AN 700. This one needs at least like 15,000 feet long runway. All right, that was like 11,000 feet too little, so rest in peace. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.